3 billion. Hello and welcome back to day number 19 of the 100-day game jam. Today's goal is going to be to save a level in JSON right before I pause the game, and I forgot that was my goal, and I started getting ready by making some pause menus. I went ahead and drew or designed some prototypes where you like for this one you can see that the text or where the title would go for pausing would be right here. You can see that the players are in the center of 4 buttons, and all it would take for them to select an option. Well, yeah, I see what's wrong with this one. But to select an option, you just have to step on that tile. And in this case, player 1 can't select the options because player 2's in the way. Player 2 has to select the options. But I drew more. Oh, and I have something stuck in my throat right now, but I want to clear it. So if I wanted to do a compact design and have multiple menu options or for people to select, or menu tiles, I might move over to something like this. Maybe I'll move the players outside of it, but then it leads to other problems. So instead, I have 3 other solutions where the title screens are all the way at the top. There's some space in between the players and the actual menu buttons, so that the players have the availability to get to all the buttons. Now, right now, they're other than the resume button and the quit button, they say to be determined. I know eventually I'll add an options button and a level select button. I may even add a how to play button, but for now, this is what we get. Until I actually add those features in, I'll just keep those blank with to be determined. For the player, they can say, I guess for each player, they can all it would take is 2 moves of the button, which can be a lot if you just quickly want to pause the game and quit out of it. You're done with the game, but I don't think it'll be too bad. Having to move your player to each button or to select the option. Say pending the player being able to I'm having to move quite far away to get to some of the options on the other side, and same thing for player 2. But before any of that can happen, any of this can happen, I want to be able to save the state of the game, so when you pause, you're not losing all of the hard work that you did on level number 1. So let's get into it. Mono. Yes. I know that this is going to be on the a lot of work done in the JSON parser, or I feel like I'm going to be adding more functionality to the JSON parser. But I think if pulling it from an example was going to be fine. This is the type of file that it doesn't necessarily need to persist outside of the game, so it'll save it, but it'll immediately destroy it once the level is loaded again. It doesn't. I know that it doesn't. When you close the game, that information does not need to stay there. That's what I'm trying to get at. But because I'm not doing like a full, hey, the game needs to be saved, or maybe I should. Maybe I should just keep it. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna keep it. Like, it wouldn't be too hard just to not do the work to delete it, but I do want to write a function for saving the level and storing that in a file somewhere, a JSON. So I'll write a. So I'm saving a JSON, or I need to go figure out like what it is I exactly need. I was not super prepared, but I can start this right here. I do know, I guess, the flow. I want to like pass in all of the tiles, so the whole grid. I want to be able to pass that in to a JSON and have a JSON just read and say, "Hey, put this object into the JSON, put this object into the JSON," and just make it a loop, really. Tool used for reading and parsing JSON files. I'll change that. Reads and say loads JSON. The reason parses, it just reads the JSON file and returns it. Into objects, into nodes. And this one's going to be doing the opposite. It's going to be saving nodes into a JSON file. And I'm probably going to want to give it the level or the grid. Really, is this a structure of all the nodes or container of all the nodes? Of nodes to be saved. There. And I could have it return like success or fail, or where it's saved to, but I don't think it actually needs to save any, or it doesn't need to return anything for now. But I'm gonna go do some, fortunately I'm gonna do some research. Hopefully it won't be too much. Good. Because the functions themselves are technically already there. Saving games, the Google Docs. So can be complicated. It can be desired to store more information than the current level or number of stars on the level. More advanced save games need to be stored additional information. Man. Serializing. No. To read. In this case, we're assuming each member of group persists as an instance node and thus has a path. GDScript has helper functions such as toJSON and parseJSON, so we will use a dictionary. Our node needs to contain a save function that returns this data. Ours doesn't. Ours can, for the most part, actually just store the enum variables, and it'll look very much so like this, but instead of having the player, it will have the enum value for that player, and instead of the wall, it will have the enum value for the wall. It'll just be a 2D array of numbers. So that's gonna, and from there I can write another function that'll load up a level that way, which would be nice. It's covering a file system tutorial. We need to open a file and write to it and then later read from it. Now that we have, yep. So file new. Everything in the persist category and ask them return. So go through everything in the persist category and ask them to return a dictionary of relevant variables. And this right here is everything that needs to be saved, and say for every node it looks like. So I may have to write a function that looks like this. Or rather I can write a function that looks like this for saving each node and have each node individually save themselves. That's very object oriented. See, right now I have everything inheriting from, like, every tile basically inherits from this pawn. So writing it there would actually give it more use, which would make me happy. But I think each pawn's gonna need its own save function because that they have their own variables that need to be saved, and it's basically just generating this struct, or generating this dictionary is the thing that's important. It's covered. Yep. So they save the game, they open up a new file to write inside of it, they save the nodes, get tree, get nodes and group persist, and for every node in that persist group, get nodes and group. Oh, so I can say get nodes and grid. That which would honestly make it a lot easier. For every group in that, so for every node in that persist group, they're going to call a function called save. This is very important. I could note data. I don't know why they're using specifically that function. I believe that I could just call .save, or I want to think that I can just call .save for every tile that I do this for. And then save gain storyline to JSON, and it's going to store the entirety of that node in a single line, because I don't care. I don't care what it looks like, because the load JSON will just know how to read it from a single line also, but it'll have each node on its own line. And then we'll close the file. Okay. Loading is fairly simple as well. Okay. Okay. They said it was complicated. I'm gonna go write some pseudocode. Now I know that I have a much bigger task, broader task than I thought I was going to. I need to give every. I need to give every pawn in the world its own save function, and for now I'll do just player 1, the wall, and the crate. Those are in the crates, and that's just 3. Yeah. And then it'll look something very much like this, which is great. Get file name.
Because it's due on Friday, and I don't want to do it on Friday.
I believe this get file name is going to return the scene. I want to do more on that. The parent. I don't need the parent. I need the X and the Y. Yes. This is cool. I'm excited. I'm excited to do this. So, I'll start with the player. I think they're going to have one of the bigger ones. So the player, I'll write it all the way at the bottom. Function called save. And basically what save, we have control V. What the save is doing is getting the data, storing all player data in a dictionary, dictionary, so all player data in a dictionary. And it takes nothing. I don't know why I have these params in, honestly, but it will have a return. We're just gonna return that dictionary. All player data, say diction as a dictionary. Easy. So for save data is a dictionary. How do I define that as a dictionary? I don't know. Or looking back at the example, they use brackets. Okay. Brackets like this. Or no, brackets like this. Equals. There. And I'll try my best to ignore ignore that they're not lined up all the way. Yep. And then we'll have things like the name of the player, and the value is get name. Name.
Oh my god, take me down the stairs.
I want to go and look at other information that I'm already loading for the player. Documents. Godot projects. I probably should have just went back up instead of doing all that. So here, and in the prefabs, in the level, let's do level 1. Name, path, type. So what I'll do is I'll just grab this. I can paste it just like that, easy. And then add tabs, because it recognizes spaces, and that's wrong. X, Y. All right. We said that the path. Oh, too much. It's going to be get path. Yeah, I just like to make sure that my functions exist. Return absolute path to current node. Only works the current node. It's inside the scene tree. I guess I'm saying I don't need that as much as I just need the name of the scene. Let me go back to that. This is all in. It's in the global, isn't it? Okay, node. Woo! I can probably control F in here. Look for scene. TSCN. Help? Okay. No, I can't. Add child. No. I'm not sure getting the. I don't need the path as much as I just need the scene, and I'm okay hard coding that value. Unless say someone knows a better way to do a way of doing that function in case I change the path name. So it's a prefab, it's the player. So copy path. Paste. Easy. The type can stay the same. This has to be. So I guess do all of these have to be strings or numbers. I don't believe that the player knows its own grid position, and it has to ask the grid for that. Or rather, I'm on the player scene, looking at the player. They don't know where, so I have to go ask the grid for that. And that's going to look something like get parent. So I've done it before. Dot. And then from the grid, get pawn cell position. Dot X. And then we'll do the same thing over here. Dot Y. We have the ID, which is, this one is, it's just something I guess I can ask myself. ID. And then the color is going to be, wait, it's called modulate. Yeah, modulate. If it modulate, canvas modulate. Nope. Do I have to type in get modulate? Modulate. I'll just say modulate. And then I'll cast it to a string. I'm gonna make sure I spell it right. Modulate. Yeah, okay. Alright. I think that's it for the player. I am kind of worried that I'm calling get pawn cell position. And that's not very optimized. I could just have the players track their own, but I think it'll still be pretty fast. I'm not saving the game every frame. I'm only doing it on demand, so I want to make sure that mine looks similar to the example. They have, say, get file name. I'm gonna check that function out. Get file name. Says it's somewhere in here. Get file name. When it's seen as instant server file, its topmost node contains a file name for which it is loaded. I believe you. Okay, it's just called file name. So I can use just file name. Cool. Path. File name. Okay. Once we're done making that, we're going to return save data. Easy. Now I just need a place to call it to see if it works. Or I'll use a debug statement actually. I'll place that there, and then I'll call save when I don't want to call it when I enter this scene. I'll just randomly put it in with one of my buttons. When player 2 moves down, yeah. When either one of them moves down. Or when you pause the game. Ha. What a place. It's like it belongs there. Okay, let's check out some of this information. So yep, I'm coming in, I'm playing the game, and you know what? I move a block, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with where I was. Let's pause the game. There you go, get pawn self position requires more than what I give it. Okay, me paying attention. Get pawn position takes the actual position of the player, the world position. Huh. My comments failed me. Pram. Global. Goal is the double pawn. Nice. And then it returns a vector 2, or oh, it returns the position the grid of the pawn is. Yep. Long words. Okay. Let's try that again. Man, yeah, I have more documenting to do. Forgot return values. And the param values for documents in the grid. Alright. So I'm going to just pass in position. And we're going to try that again. I just want to look inside the struct to see if it looks sort of similar to what it would look like in the JSON file. So, yeah. Okay, pretty good with our progress. Pause. Alright, we made it. So, now let's look at this save data wherever it is. Or global events, IDs. Where? Self. Can I hover over it? No, I would have to probably put it in a variable that's global to the script to see it. But I'm gonna say, fuck it, this is good. And well, I guess not that. I'll that's like the bane of my existence, those words sometimes. I'll just print it out. I'm not gonna be doing anything with it right now, but I'll print it out and see what I get. Pause. Yep, Y, X3, color. Nice. I'll say color has a bunch of pauses in it. The path is right. The type is right. And the name of the player is right. The ID is right. I am playing player 1. I almost want to fix that color. Like, yes, that's right, but that is also kind of wrong. What happens if I just put it this way? Am I going to get the same? I think I'm going to get the same value that way also. Yeah, I'm going to get the same value that way also. Let's see, it gets... I have to be careful about the color, that's for sure. I'm already worried that it's going to mess up in the parser when I'm loading levels. When I load the color, I'm looking for a name. Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe I can convert that color to the color name, which would be awesome. It would restrict me in the type of colors I can use. Color name takes. No, like the hmm. I just wonder if it converts. That would be cool. A string name and the alpha. I need the other way. I need one that goes the other way. Why this would work, I don't know. I have a sneaking suspicion that it won't work this way. And I may have to leave the color out. Or I can just put words in there. I want one player to be green. Or for now I'll copy them from the JSON. Orange and green. Nope, actually I don't want to do that. I'll put that back. I think that'll be fine. Not that, but that. Okay, I'm happy with all that information. So now that I've saved the player, I can go ahead and see if I can make a JSON file out of that. And to do that, I'm gonna call this save function somewhere else. I'm gonna keep it here for now, cause just to run through it. It doesn't do anything other than toss the information away. And I think I'm still printing it, and I'll still print out the information also. But now, not but I wonder if I should just have it pass like the node, like, hey, pass me the node and I'll deal with it, or have it pass a group of nodes. Yeah, basically, who's going to be calling this save JSON function? Right now, it is. I suspect that it's going to be my world or my level, because I have it already set up. So whenever I pause the game, it knows where to go and everything. JSON parser, create level from JSON. This one would just be like save the level in a JSON. I think that's really what's gonna be happening here. So when the game pauses, we're just gonna save it here, and it's gonna be JSON parser. That's saved. But I need to pass in all of the children from the grid, so I'll pass it in as get children, or hey, grid dot get children. There. That way I'm passing them all as a big old group, and I'll call all those children. Yes, looking like it's coming together. ISIS container of nodes to be saved. Absolutely. So do as it says. Var open up a file, or create a new file, call file.new. We're gonna open that file for writing. This guy's opening up a JSON file. Let's see, where's that JSON coming from? Or, ooh. This is, let's see. I mean, that gets passed through. I'm thinking about having it have similar functionality to this create level from JSON, and to do that, this one, what makes it different? JSON. The save JSON is just going to be a function that specifically saves the save files in a JSON, and that's it. So I'm thinking, it can't really do that, can it? That's not what this save is doing. He opens a file, he creates a new file, he calls it .save. Okay. Is that good practice? That's probably good practice. So, nothing to worry about here. I'll just make a file. Res. Oh. File open it. It's going to be mad at me because it's. I may just copy the name of theirs. I'm bad with names, but I'm going to put it somewhere else. User. The user is very important. That saves it actually on the other person's computer. Save game .save, and then it's like I want to make sure I get rid of that later. To test, I'll actually just put it in res. I will make it a resource. Just a random file in the resource called save game.save. And we'll use that instead. We'll use that path instead. Later I will have to change it for when I'm actually shipping this to that user. That's something that I learned a couple days ago, or about a week ago, about having to port this to other systems and making sure that the information, that like the JSONs that I'm getting, are being saved in the right place. Res. Copy path. There we go. Save data dot save. There we go. Cool. It's gonna be a JSON, or it's gonna be a JSON file, really. There's nothing special about it. But I can write the .save to kind of like hide it from other things and make it like a specific, to make it specific. Okay, and then they grab all of the, or in file for write. Yeah, let's make sure not to forget that. Do you know what a file is? Okay. And file dot write. Now I can grab all of the nodes. That's really what I need. I still need the level. Or all the children. Level. Which makes me think, yeah, no, each individual one, I still need each individual. Like, can I have the grid do all of this? But no, I still need each individual one to do this. It's still on demand. I'm thinking about like optimizing it because I'm going to be looping through all of the children every time they have to get their position to get their X and Y position, and I'm doing it double the amount of times that I need to right now because I'm saying do it to get me the X and do it to get me the Y, when I could just say do it, give me the position once. Man, if it becomes slow when I save, then I know where to fix it for sure. It's like so it's like for every tile in level, we need to do some stuff. Expect an engine block after 4. There. Do nothing until I go and read what this person's doing. They get all the nodes, they call that function, which I should just be able to call save. I want to actually look up that, like what that function is, why they chose to use that over just calling the function directly. Curious. Yeah. Call smell objects returns result passes parameters is comma separate list. I honestly don't see why I would be calling this to call my stuff, but so instead I won't. Instead I'll just write directly using the save function. No data. Yep. Save data or equals level or tile dot save JSON. Nope. Dot save. My bad. Which is going to be the dictionary. And then we're going to store it in a line. We're going to convert it to JSON, which this function can take in a dictionary, which is nice. I'll go ahead and copy that. And go back to Godot. So instead of save game, ours is called file, or we're going to store a line to JSON. It's not going to be this node data, but just regular data. Unexpected indent. What do you mean? Okay, that's what you meant. And then once it's done, it says it wants to close the file. Boom. And after that I should see save data.json in my file directory if I'm saving correctly, but we'll see. I'll put a breakpoint right here to see if anything looks a little well, I really won't be able to tell. I'll go look at the save data.json after this to see what it looks like. It should only have one thing in it. It should just have the player. So yeah. Ha, pause. Hit the P button. Broke it. JSON.parser. I swear I'm good at this. There. JSON parser. That's why it was mad at me before. Non-existent functions save in base node. In JSON parser? No. I swear it exists. You know what? It's called save JSON. Okay, pause again. There we go. Non-existent function save in base node 2D. Ah. So I want to go and look at that tile. It's a player. It knows what saving is. I may have to call it the way that they were calling it before. That just I think that's just the way it has to be. Because the function is not like a child or anything, so it doesn't really know. Save. We'll try it out. Or, yep, I called that save. You better know what this function is. Pause the game. Oh, and start tile. Okay. I need to make sure that the function exists. I am actually starting to go through all of them, and it's going to break if it doesn't know. How do I check if a function... Let's see, I wonder what call returns. Or... I saw. I'll look at these really important functions now. Passes parameters, comma separate a list. Calls the method on object, returns result. Pass parameters as an array. Calls method on an object during idle time, returns result. Yeah, I need to check if the function exists. Or maybe I don't. What if this has an empty save? Does that break it? I hope all of them get it and that it does nothing. That will be a cool virtual function that I got there, and I would be super appreciative if it worked that way. I think it works that way. Let me absolutely, on the player, stop printing this. Or it's fine to print that. What it's not fine to do is do it here. Stop doing it there. Let's run that again. It got both of the players. Oh my god. And I'm checking the data. The IDs are different. Their colors are slightly different too. Now that's some cool stuff. And like it still works, and I'm still paused. Like the players can move. Oh man. I like it when a plan comes together. Now I can go and check that file that I made. That's the next part of this. I typed it in resources. Save data.json. Let's open it up. Hey. Hey. And it put a null at the end. Don't know why. but that's it. So now I wonder if I can when I unpause, I can load the level back, or load the players back at least. It'll still have the clear board, but I have 10 minutes. I don't know if I want to start trying it right now and see if I can load them back in 10 minutes, because I think that would be awesome. But I'll give it 5 minutes of work. On pause. I have this variable called if goal of once dot is pause. And we're just gonna load a level. We're gonna load that save data back in. JSON parser dot create level from JSON. Resource slash. Let's see, man, why don't I just grab it from here? Control C, Control V. See you later. Okay, yep, I'm just passing a string, and then this. Let's say when I pause, am I getting rid of all the nodes in the thing? I'll keep that on the back burner, because when I go and try to create this level again, I definitely need to make sure that those nodes don't exist anymore. For tile and tiles. Yeah. Very similar to this one right here. Control C. Hey. All the tiles. Give them to me. Control V. No. VR paused. Then do this. Or rather, VR for the level when the game is paused. Yeah. I wanted to be able to toggle it. Other players getting too crazy about it. I don't remember if I really solved that. And I got some other stuff I need to do with it also. Man, 5 minutes of thinking and I'm already like, yep, this isn't feasible. The note should be saved before clearing, to be honest. You're right. Actually, I'm gonna keep that note. I can just make lists of notes as I go. The game is paused. I will load everything back up. I do want to make sure that I'm getting rid of the children. Oh, I am, because I'm clearing the board. Yeah, I'm thinking, am I getting rid of the children when I pause? I am. So now when I if it is paused, the game was paused when you wanted to hit that button. Pause and pause. Then I can actually, after all of that, I can set the globals as pause. Defaults. And then Control C. And up here, Control V. to true. There. Clear the grid, and it's true. Okay. Let's see what happens. Oh, something got in my eye. Pausing? Paused and unpaused the game. Got it. It cleared everything. Pausing. Clearing the board. Pausing. Unpause the game. I feel like I put some code for pausing the game in here somewhere, I feel. Let's see, player 1 is chosen to press pause. Cleared the board, saved some stuff, and then unpaused the game. Where am I? Unpausing the game.
She's working on it.
Yeah, we're doing unpause the game. I have no idea. Or, you know where I unpause the game? In the world. I don't print that there either. Oh no, print statements. You have betrayed me. Because now I have no idea like where this unpause the game is being printed. Betrayal. How do I search? All of them. Search. Find in files. There we go. In all of my files. The word unpaused. In the UI. What are you doing, UI? You have some logic here for pausing, don't you? Okay. Hey. If it is paused, set it to false. Okay, I see. If I'm going to be setting states like that, and you probably need a better state machine. You can stop doing this. I've given it to a higher authority. Which is the level, or the world. The world now does this. You don't have to anymore. Let's see if it breaks anything. Still unpaused the game. Where? I understand why it's happening too. I'm gonna keep this here. And then what if I get rid of it inside of my world and
Because you were totally a part of this.
or I give it to my to global events. Global events listens to its own signal and handles its own states, which then I'm gonna make a state singleton instead. Like that'll just to handle states in the game. There we go. I paused, I saved, and I broke it. There we go. Load. Invalid get index path. Is it because I set up my? It's probably because I set up my JSONs weird. I'm getting a strong vibe. That's what it was. On base float, on line 72. On what? That actually doesn't make any sense. What are you trying to read? Person, what are you trying to read? Because There's no floats there. Restart. Pausing. Saved some information. Yes. Unpause. Invalid path. Oh. Okay. You couldn't find that? You couldn't find that? Why couldn't you find this? Come on. You were so close. You were so close. So close. I feel like it's doing that because it's trying to. Actually, yeah, I have no idea why it's trying to do that. Like on base float. Like this is a string, man. But I've run out of time, and I'll have to solve that another day. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate everyone who's been along with me with this journey to make a game in 100 days. I definitely feel like I'm chipping at it day by day, and just like being able to set aside a little bit of time every day, like it really helps me de-stress from all the other things I have going on in the day. Ooh. And so just before I close up everything, I want to play the game one last time. Because I know I didn't do that the last time. I didn't do that in the beginning. Usually I like to start by playing the game. I have this bug now. I'm aware of this. It's super interesting. I can still solve it. Like it gets me in trouble. Weird. I guess I accidentally hit that button, but man, I'm gonna move over to the other character. This puzzle is almost to the point where I can solve it without needing, where you have to use 2 people to solve it. Yeah. You win. You guys are winners. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow.